welcome to For Football Is Only. Mike.
I'm James Pinay.
And our special guest.
Oh, Jeremy.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. The legendary Jeremy. All right, let's just get right into it, Jeremy.
All right.
let's just get right into it. Where does your football story begin?
Oof. I mean, if we want to take it back to the United States, man, that was before Cap City, before everything. Football started for me when I was playing with, man, I was like 8 years old. I started playing football when I actually started, actually wanted to take it serious. I started at Boys and Girls Club. Man, it's nothing like I had now, so it's a giant leap. I'd say that from where everything started at. I mean, man. But I think the actual time I took football seriously, when I actually wanted to do something with it, was when I started playing with this team called Calverton. And I was the only one who spoke English, and I had to learn like that. You can't, if you want to be part of a team, you can't just say, oh, I don't speak that language. I can't go over there. I can't say that. No, you got to go over there, learn that language, and then play with them. If you can't, then it is what it is.
Cool. So I have a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you say you started at 8. I have two questions. Who introduced you into starting? And then you said when you went to Calverton, you had to learn English. What other language do you speak?
All right. So first, let's start with the other language because that one's a little bit easier. Like the other language, when I started to learn language, I had to learn Spanish. I learned a little bit of Ethiopian as well because I played with a few Ethiopian teams that went out for summer tournaments. Mm-hmm. Even a little bit of what is it called, Russian. But I'd stop at that. I'll take my Spanish and a little bit Ethiopian. I love Ethiopian. Ethiopian language is very nice. I like it. But Spanish is my most fluent for right now.
Okay, cool.
And you asked me about the team beforehand?
Yeah, we introduced you.
Introduced to football. Yeah. To be honest with you, I fell in love with football by myself because before that, I was playing tennis, basketball, and all those sports, but I never got the same feeling. I never got the sense of accomplishment from football. When I played a match of football, I felt different. I felt happier. I did this by myself. There's no one who was there to all right, this is how you're supposed to do this. This is how you're supposed to become a footballer. No, I saw, all right, they're going and making the ball into the goal. You know what? Maybe I want to go and join with them. It looks fun. It looks entertaining. It looks free. I can do what I want. I don't have to be stuck.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So when you started at 8, did you what position did you start playing? Right, go ahead.
Man, y'all laugh at me. I started as striker, actually. I started as a striker. Man, I tell you, I couldn't score. I'll let you know I couldn't score at all, but I'll give the best through ball ever, and I'll be just the big man in the box that win headers. That was it. Yeah. That was it.
Well, so, okay. I mean, part of this is, because we know you, and so, we know where you are now, but at what point, how did you transition into, so currently, a world-class goalie. How did you transition from a striker to, where you are now as a goalie?
I changed from every position on the field. I started from striker, I went to winger, then I went to midfield as an attacking midfielder, and then dropped back to central defensive midfielder. I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't the best runner. I will let you know. I will tell you the truth. I was not the person that was going to be darting up the field. I would make the run sometimes, but you better catch me there because you're not going to catch me again. That won't happen again. No, but then I went to center back, outside back, and the last bit, the reason why I actually went to goalkeeper was because we had someone on our team who I felt was not giving his all. He basically, he said, if you guys don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to stand here and let the ball through. So I actually saw that and went into the game. Well, when I went to the game to play right back, I went back because I saw him getting angry, frustrated that we weren't getting the ball up the field. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in here. So they shot the ball up high, and he was gonna go for it. So I went up and jumped and got to my hands. And well, I mean, it's a penalty. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not supposed to be there. That's not my position. But it was a good save. Hey, without gloves and all, it was a good save. But at the time, I was just like, I don't know what I've done. I know he's gonna take me out the game. I know he's gonna take me out the game. It's obvious. If I didn't get a red card. The crazy part is, I didn't get a red card. I was happy about it. That was the best part about it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. First of all, that's an amazing an amazing story, right? I mean, that's like amazing. But okay, after you get the handball, did you play the goalie for the penalty that they took? Or?
No, I was out the game. You got a red card. Saying, yeah, you gotta go. You can't be here. How you gonna just jump in there and say the goalkeeper's not gonna save us? You gonna put your hands up there? No, it don't work that way. You pack your stuff up. And I tell you that the next week I was off of the team. They didn't want me there. It was bad. They didn't like that at all. Not in the least bit.
What age was this?
This was at 10. Because that's when I first left to go to Calvert. After that game, I went over there and said, I need a team. There's no one's going to talk to me. There's no one that wants to play with me, because everybody in that circuit knows that's the guy who doesn't wants to play in the field but wants to play goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And at the time, I did not want to play goalkeeper because I was like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I didn't really understand the position until, man, it's changed. A lot of things have changed.
Yeah. So when you went to Caverton at 10 is when you started playing goalie. And then, okay, at that point, did you already have football idols, like idols in the game that you look up to?
I looked up the strikers. That was the worst part. I didn't see any goalkeepers that I cared about at the time until I turned about 12 or 13. And I think that's the first time I saw Seaman and Nelson Dita. Nelson Dita and Seaman were my first two idol goalkeepers. Nelson Dita of AC Milan was my favorite by far, my first and favorite.
Nice.
And it changed over the years after he got older and stuff. But I think that's the 1-2 idols I would look up to the most. Arsenal's Seaman, that man was crazy. Even the ponytail and everything like that. I didn't look past that. He made some good saves. I can't say anything about it.
So okay. So since you have those two, who are your top? This is a question we ask everyone. Who are your top 11 footballers of all time? And they can be anything you want. They can be all strikers. They can be all goalies. They can be.
Don't tell me that. I'm definitely go all goalkeepers. Don't tell me.
They can be all midfielders. You know what I mean? Like they can be whatever. Or some people do like the full field. So somebody would have somebody in goal, somebody right wing. Like the full 11. But either way, you have 11.
All right. You know what? All right. For my starting 11, can I say a formation too, so I can just get the squadron down?
Yeah.
Like that? All right.
I'll help you. I'll count. I'll help you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we'll start with the back line, because your goalkeepers love the back line first, always first. Yeah. All right. For my left back, you know what? I would say either Marcelo, one of my favorites. He amazing, or Philip Lahm. He played outside left back, right back. He played anywhere in the defense. To be honest with you, he was nasty. So at left back, I'd probably say Marcelo first, Lahm if I can. Center back, Boateng, I really loved him. That man did so much. And then Joel Campbell. Joel Campbell was a fear. He was a force. Man, I'm talking about back in time. That man, that man steps to the ball, you step back. 2 steps back, just to make sure. Man, what? Oh, and the right back. Actually, what I learned about my right backs that I really like is Felipe Luis, the Brazilian who was playing with Atletico. He changed a lot of things for me. Like he reinstated what right back meant. A defensive right back at that. That man he's dangerous. All right, so as my 4-3-3, I got my defense down. As a goalkeeper, favorite goalkeeper has to be Iker Casillas, just because it's the height difference, man. That height difference. People don't really count that. It's like that height difference. The goalkeeper means a lot. There's a lot of people that look at you say, you 5'10". I mean, there's a 6'8" guy right there that don't even have to move to make those saves. So, I mean, if you do better than him, you could be there. And that's why I respect that man. Iker Casillas, And then that the other keeper, which was Diego Lopez, he wasn't bad, but it's man, look, if you gotta Diego Lopez was playing like a million teams before this, man. Like Iker Casillas just showed up in the scene at like out of middle school, high school, or something like that, and he just showed up and played. Diego Lopez was sitting there waiting his time just to get in this whole time, other the other keeper who got like injured. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, if that was me, I would have gone crazy. How are you gonna pick this kid up? Like really?
Yep.
All right. Look, yeah, man. That's. I mean, him. I have so much respect from that. It just is beyond words.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to those midfielders. The three midfielders, I think my top ones, Modric, because he sometimes is Modric is nasty, man. He's a crazy man. As another midfielder, I'll try to go a little bit more newer. Actually, Mueller. Because I mean, I can't say new because that man's been around forever. That man's been he don't move. I mean, he tracks around. He don't move that much, but he'll be there. He'll be there every single time. I have to respect that. And the other one, the last one, which was who's my favorite defensive mid? This defensive mid I forever. Conte. That man is beloved. Even though I'm not a Chelsea fan, I don't like Chelsea. I'm sorry, Arsenal all day. Arsenal, sorry. It's just that man, he does work. He still does work. Hey man, I'm sorry. That Chelsea, I can't mess with you. I can't say the whole word. If I say Chelsea, you don't hear the A or anything like that. You can't. But let's finish this up. Let me see that striker position. Lewandowski up top. That man, great. Ronaldo and the right wing, and I gotta say Messi. I gotta use him a winger too because he's just cut over and just help up in the midfield in the first place. Okay. So I gotta leave him a left wing.
So when you said Ronaldo, which Ronaldo?
Oh, that's hard. Don't do that. I like them. I know I can't because they're so different entities. That's the thing. So if I left one, it's just like you gotta have the other. If you don't have one, you gotta have them both. You can't.
Okay. We'll give you that. We'll give you both. You can have both. So
please.
Please.
That's hard.
12.
Man.
You have 12 in total. That's a good one.
You got one sub. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll give you a sub, man.
Please, thank you. Sorry, I just can't. I need one, man. You just can't just fit everybody at one time.
Yeah, that's a good list. I mean, from that list, you know, one of the things. Okay, so now you name top 11 and you talk about Iker and a few keepers. Who are your top 5 keepers of all time?
Top 5 keepers of all time. Yeah. Iker Casillas, Neuer, because you gotta know Neuer, Iker Casillas are both crazy. Mm-hmm. Hugo Lloris, who's really unsung, which I particularly like him very much. Mm-hmm. Ter Stegen, man, that man, he in Spain right now, he's crazy. And the last one I have to say is Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas is also someone that I highly respect.
Cool.
Yeah.
So going to keeper question, right? Because you know most field players like myself and Mike, I always wanted to ask keepers, right? As a keeper, what's one of your toughest part of being a keeper in doing the game? What's one of the harder things?
You know, at first I would say like it's because I can't make a mistake, but you get used to that. Mm-hmm. The real thing is making the morale for your team go even higher. That's the real tough part because it's just like it's not just one thing you can do. You have to make sure that your team is always on point because it's just like you can go into a game, make saves, and it will still be the same morale that you come out with. But if you come out, make a great cross or something like that, and you start a counterattack for your team, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a different type of morale. That's not just defensive morale. That's like we got someone to help us in the back. We don't have to just sit there. Or for example, even Neuer, who comes off his line, who's sitting up a midfield waiting for a ball to come in. That's a different type of morale. That's a different type of confidence. That's Bayern. I mean, I hope one day I can be like that, but
that's the goal.
If I can, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, cool.
At what point, so you played rec ball, Calverton, etc., and then you play, you kept working your way up.
Yeah, Cap City and rep to Cap City as always.
What's Cap City, man?
You know, you play here, in the U.S. at Cap City, like a semi-pro team, and now you transition to pro in Spain. So, at what point did you know that this game? You said when you were a little younger, you played tennis and all the other sports, but you like soccer more. But at what point did you really know, like, no, this is something I really like. I'm really good at it, and I'm going to pursue it to the highest level?
I think the first time I actually took football was like, this is what I have to do. I had no other choice. Is when I went to Las Vegas. I went to Las Vegas to play football. I was playing for a little bit, and I thought, oh, you know what? I've never seen a team from Las Vegas. No one could possibly be that good here. But little did I know, a lot of people who are in Las Vegas have a descent from different countries. They all come from different countries to play. And that's what really, really shocked to me, because it's just like, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I'm in the U.S. You know what? I could probably make it here in DC. I could probably make it in this state. That's great. But when you see those people from other countries playing as a type of football that you've never seen before, something that you were not ready for me, that sparks a little bit of how do I say, like a little bit of my egotistic side, because it's like I have to think about it. Like, these guys are making it look easy, and these guys have been doing this since they've been on the bottle, man. I'm looking up, and I'm just like, I had to fight my way to get up here, and it's still not good enough. I'm like, you know what? I gotta put some other drive into it. I have to do something else. I can't just be normal like everybody else. If I want to do this, then what am I really going to have to do? Because these people have been doing this for a while, and I haven't been playing as long as them. I don't have the same style as them. I don't have the background as them. I didn't grow up just like saying, oh, football is the one thing I want to do for the whole time of my life. No, I did come in late, and seeing everybody like that, it sparks something in me to say, I want more, and it never stops. You have to always want more.
Yeah. At what age did this Vegas thing happen?
This happened at 22 or 23 years old.
Wow, so this was late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's actually a huge motivation for a lot, because usually the decision happens a lot earlier to keep you going. But for you, it happened a lot later, and then it really propelled you to really get serious. What would you say, currently is the most challenging aspect of your life as a footballer?
I think the most important, or more, the fact that I really have to make sure that if I feel that I'm not in the right mindset or I'm not ready for this game, I have to make sure that every time, every training, every game, my mindset is like that. And after that, it's great. But this is where it comes in, because you're not going to win every game. So when you lose or when you come back, was really what I'm used to, since I used to play in a lot of teams that didn't really win necessarily, especially with the Calverton team. The first whole time I was playing with them, we lost almost every single game. We got relegated all the way down. But I saw that as a challenge. It's like, we're getting relegated, but I can't say, oh, it's not my fault. I can't say, oh, I did my best. No, I didn't make a difference. And that's why I want to make a difference in the field every time I touch the ball, every time I get into the game. Anytime I touch the field, I have to make a difference. No matter if it's one save, no matter if it's 10, no matter if it's 50, I have to do something, right? And that's what I really took from it.
Cool. So, like, currently you're in Spain, right? For like young footballers that's watching, what process did it take you to get to Spain?
The process started really, really, really early. Like, I asked to go to different countries beforehand. I even tried to go to France beforehand when I was about 22, but due to my own decisions and my own incorrect decisions, I did not pursue that. And I stayed and waited until I got something else, instead of taking something that I should have taken in the first place. But coming into Spain, starting at 23, because after Las Vegas is when I first got the time to actually go into Spain, and I got to play with UPP, which was a really great experience for me to understand where I needed to be at. And from then on, just to even get over here, I didn't have money growing up. I didn't have people just be like, oh, you want to go there? Just we pay it and go. No, I had to either beg my mom to pay part of it, and I work and get the rest of it, or I get it all. Because I can't even just ask like someone in my family, like, he paid this ticket for me to go to this other country real quick, so I can just like, nah. In what world? We gotta pay bills. We gotta keep a house. How you just gonna leave? Like, what are you doing? Like, nah. But I have to say, the biggest support that made me and let me go to other countries was my mom, because at every training, every practice, I know everybody knows my mom. You know why? Because she's always there. She's always there. I mean, unfortunately now, she can't be here in Spain, but it's just like, it is what it is now. But before, it's just like, it pushed me a lot, to be honest with you. It made me seek a lot more.
Yeah. So for that process to get to Spain, did you have to go through specific agents? Did you have to, did you have to do anything out of the norm besides just being an amazing goalie or amazing player? And then the Spanish teams are just calling you left and right. Like lay that out for us.
All right. So first, I started with my first agent, which was actually just the agent that I still talk to today. The first person I got to was to go to UPP, and it was because it was a trial. It was like, if you do well, you could stay there, but this is a one-in-a-lifetime chance. So if you don't do well, you're going back. Like, you faster than you can actually do anything about it. It was about 2016, 2015 when I first got my first ticket to come to UPP, to come train and play, to see if I can actually stay with the team. And from then on, every day, the first training, I mean, I'll go into training a little bit differently, other hand, but to lay down a platform of how to get there, it was grueling just to find a spot to stay at, just to make sure that the team would make sure that I'm okay. I mean, there's a lot of things that go around behind the background too. There's not just I like you, I want you on this team, you're going to pay all that. No, if you're a player that's unknown, you got to fight for your position from day one. I'm talking about getting a house there. I'm talking about getting a flat there, just to be able to be close to the trains and get there, because they're not going to provide that for you. If you're someone that's just going to come up in trial and you have no background whatsoever, they're not going to lift one finger for you. They are going to look at you like, all right, so you're going to come here, you're going to train, you're going to play, and if we don't like you, you're still going home with all the stuff that you just brought over here. And we couldn't care less, because we got homegrown players here. That's Spain. All their homegrown players there, it's like it's like water. Like, it just falls there. Like, they don't have to do anything. They just have great players just come out of the woodworks. So I have to fight against all that. And just to play at UPP, arrive there, I played as long as I did, and I have to come back, train myself up, and then come here to do the same thing. But I changed my team. I changed a lot of things about myself just to stay here now, because it wasn't just the first time when I went over here to play or to train, it was just to see if I could hang, if I could even be in the same field as these people. And I proved that I could. But I didn't prove that I was someone who can start. I didn't prove that I was someone who could be the star of the team at that time. So I literally had to go. I had to go back to the United States. I had to pack my stuff because I wasn't fit to earn that contract at the time. So as I came back to the States, I came back to play. I enjoyed everything. And as soon as I got my next chance to play with Santa Pola, I took it. And that's the next chance I got here, again in Spain. And from then on, played until COVID hit. Then I came here to Plasencia, which is house of the team that I used to play with beforehand, but I'm not playing with the team right now. I'm on loan to another team at Pierre now.
Yeah. Cool. So currently doing COVID, like, how's your experience as a footballer? Like, what are you going through right now doing COVID and playing football at the same time?
It's everything has changed. The trainings, how we're supposed to come home, how we're supposed to get ourselves together, ready. It's not solely about, all right, you got to be ready for the game. You got to be healthy and ready for the game. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk to some friends or anything like that. No, by at least 5 o'clock, you get a message from the coach saying you got to be in house, because we don't want any problems coming up from this game. And every time you even enter the field, every time you go with training, every time that they know there's a game that's going to be coming up, you're getting a test. You're getting a Q-tip shoved to your nose to touch your brain, to touch your thoughts, to think about what you're about to do next in the game. And I'm telling you that's already a problem. That's already that's the first battle. That's the first battle. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many tests I've taken that man. I'm not strong enough. I'm gonna tell you that. I've seen a lot of strong people who don't even blink. I'm crying. Every time that happens, I'm crying. I lie to you not. It was horrible. No, but other than that, it's just like we really got to keep ourselves healthy. Like even if you're not like, even if we may not have training because at times they close down parts of Spain, so we can't go play games. There are a lot of games that we have that are like put on buys because we can't play it. Everything's closed down. The shops, the stores, you can't even get food. There was a crisis here because people couldn't even go to their supermarket. And you got to think about that. As a football player, you can't eat. What are you supposed to do? And you got a train coming up. You have a game that no, that can't happen. And that's why, especially with the team and everything like that now, I'm really grateful that they helped me out. But at the same time, it's like, if we can't even go up there to go train, because I don't live on right next to the field or anything like that. I got to get driven up there to go train. So it's like, when they shut down part of it, everything is messed up. All the other teams, all the games that we're playing, we have games until April something because all the games have been backed up. And I'm not even talking about descension or ascension because we're going to be fighting for ascension too. So that's going to last until like June, maybe even possibly even July. And then after that, the season starts again. We get like a month or two break, and that's it.
Man, I hope you guys are rested. You know, like that rest schedule, because it's gonna be, the injuries are gonna pile up. It's gonna start piling up.
And that's the problem. We had a lot of injuries with the team. You know, other teams too. Luckily for us, I mean, I'm not trying to say that's bad. I'm not trying to say something really evil or anything like that. I get some bad karma for the game tomorrow, but I'm just saying, like, if we losing players, there's gotta be some other teams that's training too that's losing players too, because we can't be the only ones getting hurt. Especially with the cold and everything too. That plays a factor because where we play, it's almost always snowing on the weekends because it's cold right now. It's winter. It snows almost every single game. Even the last game, it was under -9 degrees, and that's talking about Celsius. I'm not talking about Fahrenheit. That threw me for a loop. I was not ready for that at all.
Jeremy, what part of Spain is this? What part of Spain?
I'm in Plasencia, but I'm living in Plasencia right now, but I play at Piernau. Piernau is a pueblo, which is a really small village that has a really good complex, but they are located on top of the mountain. When I'm talking about mountain, I'm saying you see all the mountains from the side, you look up, oh, that looks great. We're on top of that playing. And look, the training and stuff is great because that helps your lungs, and that's great. I love to think about that aspect, but that cold, I can do without the cold.
It's different.
Yeah, it is different. It hits me in the bones, and I'm sitting there like I can wear like 3 shirts during training or anything like that. I'll try to be warm, but as a goalkeeper, you're gonna be diving in the slush and the snow and everything like that. You might as well dress light and be as cold as possible.
I want to go back to some you pointed out a little earlier, which is talking about your this transition to going pro in Europe and Spain in particular. What, given what you know now, right? And all the things that you went through, where you're getting agents and contracts and all of that. What would you say is something you wish you knew then that to help you move the process along?
I think the biggest thing that I wish I learned beforehand, I wish I knew, is that you can't just say, oh, I'm going to be great because I'm just going to train as hard as I can. No, it's about your environment too. The environment that you surround yourself in and all the and that's really the biggest thing. I wish I knew that beforehand because I surround myself with people who didn't really want to play football. And it kind of it hurt me a lot because it's just like I could really have been focused like dentro, sorry, that's a Spanish word. I could be inside this and working my butt off and doing everything like that. But if I have my mentality somewhere else, like I'm not focused on football, let me look at this girl. I'm not saying you can't have a girl or anything like that, but it's like you gotta have methods. Like it's like God, football, family, and like the first aspect of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like it's tough. I wish I really knew that beforehand so I can have myself in a better position. But I'm here now, so that's what the important part is.
Yeah. Cool. What would you say? What was the worst mistake you made, or that you've made thus far as a footballer?
Oh, actually, you want to know the truth? I haven't I haven't really told this to anybody before, but one time I did take time to quit football. I thought I was done. I thought that I had nothing else. I thinking that I was not good enough to play with anybody else, that I couldn't say anything. I had a really downpour. I had a horrible mindset because, as I was saying before, the environment behind me is just, it sucked me dry. Like, whoa. It made my mind go into a down spiral. Yeah, let's lose a better change of words. I really lost my sight of football, my sight of what I wanted to do, and it hurt me a lot. And I think that was the biggest mistake of stopping, because honestly, once you stop for even a little bit, you stop for a second, the whole world of football changes. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. So you really, really, really have to pay attention to it.
Yeah. So I have a question, right? So as an American footballer going to a different country, right? How is the experience different than for you being American and playing in Spain?
One is the misconceptions that they think about Americans. Let's start with that. Number one. I'm gonna leave that to the side.
What do you mean by Americans? Like, you mean all Americans? Just
ooh, man, they have some. Okay, so even every country, no one's really Americans. They don't really understand like what it is to be American, what it is to be African American of America, what it means to be Native American, what it means to be born in America but have parents from a different country. It's like they don't have that concept, because it's not like this. All of them here, like in other countries, born and raised there for the most part, especially here in Spain, I haven't really met many people that are not like born and raised from anywhere around here. So it's different because everybody's known the same thing for years and nothing's changed. But I come over here and it's like, so who's this guy? Like, why are you here? Like, do you even speak the language? Do you want to learn? Do you want to talk to us? It's a whole thing. They think the Americans just only speak English. We can't do anything else, basically. And it's like, you know what? I got to be the difference. So I'm going to show these people, like, I can speak your language and my language and probably another one if you give me some chances. But otherwise, I mean, I'm here to stay. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. What would you say is your most memorable moment thus far?
Of playing? Yeah, honestly, I could. So the time I was playing with UPP, I could say that. But honestly, I have to take it back to playing with Cap City when we won the tournament. The first time, I think the first time it was James. Yeah, I have to say that because it was the first time I actually won like a whole league with a team that we like. I just joined there. Like I was like 17, 18. I saw James and them playing. Like they've been playing ball for years. I'm like, you know, I gotta be young Iker Casillas out here. I gotta do something. And I gotta tell you this. I couldn't even send the ball outside of my box sometimes. I had to ask James to come. James, come here. Can you take this kick for me? James, help. And even Mike sometimes. I remember asking you. I was like, hey, I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. Like, you gotta do it. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. And I remember. And now, man, if I did that now, do you know how fast they would send me off the team? You can't hit outside the box. What do you mean? I mean, now we can play the ball inside the box, but it wasn't like that before. Before you couldn't have any side the box. You had to leave. Like everybody had to be at the middle of the field. You had to be waiting. If he doesn't send that, hey man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
So you're saying your footwork has improved dramatically now?
Oh, but man, it's a whole new world. I have to tell you that it is not the same as before. I had to. There was no choice. If I was going to be a goalkeeper, I had to use my feet too. And that's how the game changes too. It's just like, come on, man, you can hit a long ball. That's great. If you can't hit a long ball, that's worse. You got to learn how to play short. If you can't play short or hit a long ball, I mean, they call you here a paquete, which is a packet, which you can't do anything with. You just sit. You're just like you have something in your hand that has no real value. So you're going to throw it away, or you're going to put it not even on the bench. You're going to put it in the stands so it can just see how to actually do this stuff. And
I like that concept. That's funny.
I know. I like that.
Yeah, you can't put a packet on the bench. You're taking up space. Packets can't be there. They got to be watching. You got to see what you're supposed to do.
So they can see how it's supposed to be done.
Exactly. I mean, hey, man, it's the truth. It's the hard truth, too. That's the worst part about it, man. They will have you sit there. I remember one time I was training with the team, and this guy he had such a bad attitude. He was like, yo, I don't like this team. I don't like anything about it. And this was recent. This game that just passed, we won 3-0. And they took this man out they took him out of the bench. They took him out of the starting lineup. He was a starter. And they put this man not even in the stadium when he was playing. They put him on top, like he can't even walk in. He has a watch from like a distance. He can't even see the full game. He has to watch all the way back there. And I'm sitting there like, see, that's why you don't make the coach mad, or you don't make the president mad. You don't say nothing to him. You say thank you, appreciate it, and no, and that's it. That's what you like. First word is no, I'm good, I'm fine. There's no problems, none at all. If they ask you, are you okay? Is there any problems? You say no. They gives them some ammunition, something to tell them to be like, oh, we probably need to look for someone else if he's having problems. Nah, I'm good. You don't need anyone else. I'm here. I'm here for a reason.
Oh man, no, that's funny. That's funny. No, I mean the thing is when we play together. I mean, ask all these guys. The crazy thing is, like I was, out like even when I joined, I was already like one of the oldest ones, and I always tell James and Elvis, I was like, like you guys are young. Now's the time to get busy and go to Europe, go to Asia, whatever it is, because like I've seen it. You know what I mean? I've played all over, and I've seen talent, and I'm telling you, you guys have what it takes. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing with you. If you remember, like I always tell you, I'm like, yo, Jeremy,
you have it.
Like you're better than a lot of the pro goalies I've seen. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm telling you, you can like you just gotta like get your mind in. And it took you a while, and I'm so happy that you
actually doing it.
You mentally made the decision to actually go that route because like a lot of I mean you saw it as well, even within Cap City or even within like some of the teams who would play. The talent is there, but it's just like guys decided they didn't want to pursue it. Like these guys are way better than most of the most of the games we watch on TV. These guys are better than but it's just like mentally they so I tell everybody all the time I'm so happy that you actually decided what I'm going to actually pursue this and go that route. So it's
no,
great.
but that's what I'm saying. I really appreciate that early on because I needed a lot of my stuff was mental. As a goalkeeper, your game is mostly mental. That's the crazy part about it. You don't even have to worry about someone else messing up your game. You can mess up your own game from thinking bad thoughts. That's really how it is. And I mean, I have to really say I appreciate that because not everybody was going to say good things to you, especially if you're going someplace that no one knows you. Come on now. Like I was playing Cap City, luckily, so I was knowing everybody. I could talk to people, especially you, Mike, and especially James, both of you. Like it really gave me some path to go somewhere in life, and I really have to say I do appreciate that, especially even at the camps or even Mohawk. I mean, even though Mike wasn't there all the time, I still coming to the trains with Cap City and everything like that. It really it pushed me a little forward, and I really appreciate that from you guys.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff, man. What would you say is your ultimate goal as a footballer now?
As a footballer, it's gonna sound really childish. So as I was younger, I always loved my last name. Everybody called me Cooper. A lot of people called me Cooper. A lot of people called me Jeremy as well. I mean, that was my normal name. You should call me Jeremy, but some people just said, no, it's Cooper, and that's it. Even Elvis does that too sometimes. I'm just like, all right. I guess you forgot my first name sometimes. Okay, it's okay. No, but like I wanted to make my name on my back mean something, and that's really where it stemmed from, because it's just like I came from a family that is not, the richest in the land, but we're not also like fighting for every little nickel and dime sometimes. So, like everybody has to do something. We have to work together. We're a family, but at the same time, it's not like one of us is like a huge star to give remember. Oh, I know that name. That's his family. That's everything like that. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted to put my family's name on the list to be like, all right, this is going to be my generation. This is what I want to aspire. This is what I want when everybody thinks of this name, thinks of my family, I want them to remember that, and that's it.
That's good stuff.
That's good.
What do you think? I don't know if you train or play with a lot of goalies coming up, even when we used to play, etc. But even now, what do you think you do differently than other goalies?
Right now, That's hard because a lot of goalkeepers have a lot of different things. It's hard to say what you can do and someone else can't do because they can do something that you can't do too. But for me, my thing is I can integrate myself in the team and always for me as to make a difference. I mean, I said that before. I don't want to make it redundant, but the one thing I can do that I see a lot of keepers can't do is just like you can be secure. You can also make a difference, but sometimes you can't do both. Sometimes you have to pick one. But for me, I try to make sure that I'm secure as much as possible to make my team feel comfortable, but also enough drive to make teams morale go forward. So as a save, I mean, your goalkeeper is the first thing you think about. He has to make the save. If you can't make that, how are we supposed to feel safe? So you got to make the save. Then comes the defeat department. Can we play with him? Can we like move the ball around? Can we do something? Like, is he a paquete or is he a player? Is he a baller? You know, it's just like you got to find out. And then after all that aspect is the mentality is if you can lose, can you bounce back? Or if you get scored on, what can you do different? Because it's just like a lot of keepers, you get scored on, your whole mindset plummets. But if you are a keeper, you get scored on, but it's just like, I mean, that's one goal. We got another thing to go. I can prevent more. If I get scored on once, I got to prevent 10. I mean, that's how it really is for a goalkeeper. It's just like you can't. That one goal means so much. And if you block 10, chances are, if you can block 10, you can probably start one for your counterattack to get one goal. So that's all it really boils down to.
Yeah. This is a question. I mean, this is something we always talk about. I think all footballers talk about this. But given what you said about how you got into goalie, you might be proving this right? Which is that, like, okay. So the question really is like. Do you think that goalies are born or made?
Oh, they're made. Oh, I wish I was born a goalkeeper. And if I had that mindset of a goalkeeper when I was born, I would even, man. It's crazy how it makes a difference. It really is. That if you're a goalkeeper, you can say that you're a goalkeeper. Anybody can say you're a goalkeeper. You can play in the field, never play a day in your life, and say, "Oh, I'm a goalkeeper." That's great. But were you made in the one? That's the different story. That were you in there every single time doing repetitions of every single shot that you're going to see in the game, and then some more when you're tired? That's a goalkeeper. That's the difference. A goalie can just block with his hands. A goalkeeper makes sure he catches the ball and sends it somewhere else so he can start something else. And I think that's the biggest thing that comes in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always. From talking to and playing with goalkeepers, there's something about you guys that is different than field players. Like
we're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you say it true. We're crazy. You see someone diving in the air, throwing their hands around the air, mid-air, doing like Spider-Man things. You sitting there like,
It's true.
And don't even get me started about the crosses, man. You see a cross, you see a goalkeeper get hit one good time, he does a little flip in the air and lands wrong, and he gets right back up. Oh, he's not normal. He's built different. Nah, nah, I'm not messing with that guy. You see some goalkeeper going for a 50-50, come out like, with scratches, everything on his face, but he's smiling. Nah, you can't. Don't mess with that guy. He's nah, we're not doing all that.
See, that's why I said. That's why I asked if you. Now, obviously, I know you have to, pretty much train to really be a world-class goalkeeper. But to me, it seems like it's something different about you guys. You know what I mean? Like mentally, the way your mind
is
like,
set.
It's set. Yeah, you would see like the example you just gave with 50-50 ball, and you guys will go in. I mean, at top speed, hand first.
Hand first, of course. No, you got you. Yeah.
Just like,
and look, if you throw your whole body at the ball, he can't score, can he? Nah, I mean, I'm just saying. It hasn't proven me wrong yet, so I'm gonna keep doing it for a little bit.
Yeah, you guys are special, man. Special. It's a special group. I mean, and actually, the thing is one of those things. For whatever reason, there's not a lot of. I mean, football in the U.S., as you know, is not it hasn't really fully penetrated yet. Like the way you have basketball or baseball, etc. So it's not like it is in Spain. And in the U.S., the goal, like you guys, the goalies are even less. And then at the youth level, it's even harder. Kind of like when the point you made with your teammate that he was in the goal, but he wasn't interested in being a goalie, and that pretty much you had to run in there and
do something
and establish yourself and say, okay, this is what
I had to do it. You know what? I'll always remember that because it's my favorite memory. Because like, I made that save and he didn't, and I'm not even a goalkeeper, so you know what? I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing all right.
That's actually I could see it in the movie. It's like it's such a memorable.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was so comical because I didn't see it as that way. I'm just like, I'm so tired of this guy not doing his job. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to do my best. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even like running, but I know a lot of people don't like doing things, but come on, now you gotta do something. You can't just not help.
Yeah. So the question really is like, given the small numbers of goalies in the US, and then in the youth game is even smaller, can you think of a way to help nurture or help develop younger goalies or kids that may be interested in the game, are not necessarily like they're trying to figure out their way, kind of like how you were trying to figure out you were playing in the field and those kind of things, and then just based on your frustration, that's how you found your true calling.
Exactly.
So what any ideas or just strategies or whatever you can think of, given that you had that similar trajectory. As we we're working with kids and we're helping develop them, and keepers is, every position, every role for players on the field is difficult to find, but keepers is even it's a whole nother level of difficulty. So any ideas?
Personally, I think nurturing the mentality first, because everything else, you can work your body to remember any kind of motion. That's fine. But that mentality, you can't really work. You have to nurture that. You have to start that young, because if they don't and they feel halfway that, and I'm tired of getting hit with the ball in my chest. I'm not trying to run in and get the ball like smacked off my face and I can't see for 2 days or get a concussion. You got to nurture it to be like, in what way could I still block that ball, but at the same time, I don't have to just injure myself for no reason. I could do something to block the ball and enjoy it. Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of goalkeepers, I feel like, don't enjoy the position. And it's normal. I understand. Like, no one likes to get a ball pinged at them from like the 6-yard box at 90 miles per hour in their face and somehow have to make a save. And then after that, listen to your teammates saying, like, because not all teammates are going to be happy. Look, for luck, I had Cap City who nurtured me a lot, who helped me go through my things and understand that I was not sending that ball outside the box. Like, someone had to come back. Like, it was not happening. But learning that to have people there to say, keep going and don't stop is the biggest thing, I think, to nurture. I think that is the biggest thing, to keep supporting that person. But at the same time, you have to make sure that they understand and support themselves as well. Because if they don't, if they can't support themselves, no one can be there 24/7 to say keep going, right? No one's going to be in your back saying you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. You have to have your own mentality saying you can do that. And the best way to do that is to nurture someone else from the youngest age possible, to be like, I can do that. I have an ego. This is my ego. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this team and do what I need to do to make my team win. And that's it. I mean, honestly, that's a starting point a lot of people don't have and continue not to have. And I think it makes a big of a difference.
Yeah. So speaking of mentality, right, Jeremy? So what type of mentality you use to get prepared for a game? Like, what focus do you use to get prepared for a game?
Honestly, I do listen to a little bit of the Goalkeeper montage. There's a person I follow that shows or talks about the goalkeeper position, saying it's not the prettiest, it's not the best, but you got to get up and grind. I mean, that's what it is. Your position is dirty, it's grimy, it doesn't look good, but you get satisfaction out of it. Yes, then do it. I mean, that I listen to that almost every time. I even have a ritual of listening to that before a game now. It's crazy. Like, it drives me to push myself to go a little bit more forward and prepares me. So it's like that and eating well, I have to say. I'm a fat boy at heart. I gotta eat. I gotta eat something. You know, I can't. The right meal, it just does so much of a difference. Like there's a difference. It hits different when you eating rice and eggs until you have like that pregame mode food. And you're just thinking, oh, I need an apple. I need a bagel with some jam, and you know what? Maybe a sandwich with some peanut butter, something really light, because you know you can't eat heavy. You eat heavy before a game, you're probably going to be the bench. Even if your trainings look so bad, and you look, I'm gonna say this right now: if you overweight, that's a problem. If you're underweight, it's still a problem. So you got to find yourself in equilibrium, because if it's not, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna be either running a lot, you're gonna be eating a lot more. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're not eating a lot more and enjoying it, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So another question. So how's your game day playlist look like? Like do you listen to music? Your game day playlist.
It depends. Like, all right, I got a bachata playlist sometimes. You know, if I'm feeling it really. There's a song, no, not a song. There's a type of music here called flamenco in Spain, which I like to listen to sometimes and before a game, because it really is a little bit profound. It's different, and that's depending what kind of gaming it is. But if it's a hard game, I gotta tell you, it's trap. I have to. It's the only thing I can listen to at times. Because it's like you gotta be. It's not like if I put on some. I gotta admit, I did listen to some DMX last game, and I think that did a difference. DMX helped a lot. I mean, honestly, even Go-Go, I'm trying to tell you, Go-Go was my biggest playlist for a long time before a game. I don't know. It was the music for me. And N2L, always going to be my favorite. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay. Sounds like a nice playlist.
Well, yeah, right now it's all right. I'm still adding some stuff to it. I got like 150 songs on it, so I got trim it up and make it look better.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate inviting me to the talk and everything like that. I actually get my story out.
Yeah. We appreciate your time, man. It was fun.
How can folks get in touch with you? Any social media handles?
There is my Instagram, which you can use that GK Coop. There's also there is also J Clean Sheet, which is another Gmail or another Instagram account, which is mainly public for everything that's going on. So
what is it again? Can you say your personal Instagram, which is GK Coop?
That GK Coop, which is THAT GKCOOP. That GK Coop. And the other one is J Clean Sheet. JCLEAN and sheet, like sheet of paper. SHEET.
Okay.
And hopefully from this, some especially young goalies or just young players, period, that are trying to figure out how to transition, players that with the goal of going pro. Hopefully they'll reach out to you, and start the conversation. I know you're a good guy, and you would help steer them.
Of course.
And to players out there, for whatever reason you can't get in touch with Jeremy, just reach out to us, and we will get you in touch with Jeremy as well. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. We will definitely continue this conversation and follow your progress. I'm looking forward to seeing you as the lead goalkeeper in one of these Champions League finals.
I appreciate that.
Sometime soon. It's definitely gonna happen.
Thanks for coming on, Jeremy. And then good luck tomorrow in your game.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Varofi, I appreciate you having me. Thank you for everything. And I will talk to you guys soon again.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks a lot, man.
Have a good one.
All right. You just say